I'm your host, Valder Beebe. On the Valder Beebe Show, a new kind of talk show. Let's get started. Dr. Sinatra, welcome back.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Let's start with going to bed after midnight. What do you got to say on that?
Well, that's something that is really privy to my lifetime because as an invasive cardiologist, I was in the CCU, the ICU, the cardiac cath lab, sometimes all night long. And I saw this article in European Heart Journal. It came out only a few months ago, and I got to tell you, it blew me away. Because I used to think that the length of sleep was more important than the time going to bed. And in other words, I believed if you got 6 or 7 or 8 hours, that was ideal and absolutely suitable. However, this article came out. We looked at 88,000 people, and now that's a good number, over about a 5-year period. And it looked at the time both men and women went to bed. And this affected females more than males. And the data was really alarming. What it showed was that if you went to bed after midnight, you had incredible cardiovascular risk as opposed to going to bed between 10 and 11 p.m. That was a sweet spot. In other words, the risk there was 12%, and the risk after midnight was more than double. Now, if you went to bed before 9 o'clock, you also had risk. So apparently, between 10 and 11 is the ideal time to go to bed. And again, this affects women more than men. And I have a feeling it has to do with the circadian, natural rhythms of our body.
Interviews impacting our health, wellness, politics, and today's events. More interviews at ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/ValderBeebeShow. Subscribe to our channels. That's really, really incredible because I think more people think like you than they were thinking like the survey.
Exactly. Most people think, if I get 6 or 7 hours of sleep, I'm in good shape. Less heart disease, going to bed between 10 and 11. And I got to tell you, when I read this study, and there was a previous study that came out about 3 months earlier that showed the same data on heart failure. In other words, people got more heart failure when they went to bed past midnight. So I told my wife, Jan, I said, honey, we're going to bed between 10 and 11 o'clock at night because at our age, we need all of the advantages we can get.
I like that. I really do. Okay, let's talk about wearing shoes all the time. What does that have to do with it?
Oh, that's my favorite. I've been involved in the earthing and grounding movement for the last 20 years. Basically, if you wear shoes or sneakers or, something on your feet that disconnects you from Mother Earth, you are disconnected from what we call Mother Earth energy, which is really the Schumann resonance. Now, the Schumann resonance is sort of the humming of the Earth. It's an energetic consideration that comes from lightning strikes, particularly around the equator. Now, I live in Tampa, Florida, and I just go outside after a lightning storm because, I like to smell the ozone, and I barefoot because when you go barefoot, whether you're on the beach or on concrete or grass, it doesn't matter. If you go barefoot on like asphalt, that won't work because it's man-made. But if you go barefoot on a natural substance on Mother Earth, it will absorb the Schumann resonance. And what that means is that you're absorbing, gazillions and gazillions of electrons. It's almost like taking handfuls of antioxidants, like vitamins and minerals that a lot of people take on a daily basis. But when you go barefoot, you get antioxidant support through your feet. And remember this, there's a K1 point, a very sensitive point below your large toe that connects with the pineal gland, the meridian pathways of the body. So when you walk barefoot, you're literally getting this energetic revelation right into your brain, into your pineal gland. So I would tell most people that if you can walk barefoot, just do it because, there's about 20 to 25 studies. I participated in about 3 or 4 of them. It's absolutely amazing. And I have a new book coming out, Get Grounded, Get Well, which sort of recapitulates, a lot of the older studies with the newer studies that we've done. And it's just an amazing thing that I do every day.
Well, you are amazing for this information because this is just baseline information.
And it's free. It's free,
we don't know some of this.
I sleep grounded. I wear grounded shoes. Like I said, I go barefoot. Again, this energy of the earth. Like the yogis call it the Om. that om sound. It's the same resonance that, again, permeates the body, through that K1 point, and it's very, very healthy. See, here's what it does. It discharges the overactive sympathetic nervous system, because everybody's living in fear today, whether it's the possibility of World War III or the pandemic or, gas prices. The news every day has more and more information that creates panic and fear in people, and that charges the sympathetic nervous system, and we need simple measures. Balance it, and the easiest way to balance the autonomic nervous system is to put your feet on Mother Earth.
It's been great having you here. Maybe something was said or heard that will change your life. Finally, being a loner. Tell me about that.
Oh my gosh, that's one of the reasons where I wrote the book, Heartbreak and Heart Disease. Loneliness is the greatest sin. It's absolutely passion. It's an in-depth emotion that goes beyond despair. It really does. Because what it creates is depression. I saw this in my practice, and again, my training is cardiology and psychotherapy. I spent 10 years in training in Gestalt and bioenergetic psychotherapy. The worst thing that I saw in my practice as a cardiologist is when somebody would be married for 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and all of a sudden they would lose their mate. It was the loss of a vital connection. And sometimes, children would be around and close friends, but lots of times they weren't. Children were displaced either in Europe or Russia or other areas of the United States, and these people were lonely. I would see them in my office. Their head would be down, their shoulders would be rounded, they would be talking in a monotone. I would talk about their life. And one of the things that brought back, passion in these people was adopting a pet. I used to tell these people all the time, go to an animal shelter. Your house is empty right now. Go to a shelter, look at cats and dogs, and let that cat or dog, that four-legged companion, choose you. Let them choose you and see if you resonate with that. And I got to tell you, I saw these same patients, 2, 3, 4 months later, and they would give me a hug and a kiss, and they, doctor, this is the most profound situation in my life right now. And you know what it is? It's an establishment of a reconnection in life, because these pets would give these lonely elderly people unconditional love. And as a heart specialist and as a psychotherapist, I know whenever we take in unconditional love, it heals the body. Day and age of panic and despair and depression and loneliness and being locked up and not going out, we need vital connections. This is one way to establish a new vital connection through the loving energy of pet giving us unconditional love at all times.
Remember, you can hear, view, and read The Valder Beebe Show on multiple platforms. Visit ValderBeebeShow.com for broadcast locations. Today, my guest is Dr. Stephen Sinatra. He's a fellow of the American College of Cardiology, the American College of Nutrition, and he's a certified nutrition specialist, along with a whole litany of other titles. So you're getting great information, but if you want to get more information, Dr. Sinatra, just give us a little bit of your new book.
Well, the new book is Get Grounded, Get Well. It's probably going to come out in 3 to 4 months. Like I said, it's a recapitulation of the earlier book that we had on earthing, the greatest discovery ever. That's been in about 20 different languages. But again, this new day there, I wanted to talk about the blue zones. The blue zones are kind of interesting in the world. With the longevity, that's incredible. And a lot of people in the blue zones, they eat a healthy diet, but they walk barefoot. They walk on the seashore. 4 out of the 5 blue zones are on the seashore. One of them is in Loma Linda, California, and a lot of people do gardening there. Even when you garden and you put your bare hands in Mother Earth, that is just as good as walking barefoot. So I have a feeling that grounding in some way connected to the longevity blue zones that we're seeing across the world.
That is such an interesting concept, and I think, it fits exactly into the blue zones here and in Okinawa, Japan. I would love for my audience to find out more about you, because I'm very enamored with you. You can tell I keep inviting you back. So where do my audience find out more about you?
They can go to drsinatra.com. I still work with Healthy Directions. I develop vitamin and mineral supplements for them. I'm doing that all the time. I have a healthy food website called Vervana.com, VERVANA, where I create non-GMO foods and a lot of vegetarian type foods, vegan type foods. And because pets have been so vital in my lifetime as a cardiologist, I mean, I learned about the longevity aspects of CoQ10 by giving CoQ10 dogs, and they outlived all their counterparts by 2 to 3 years. So I learned a lot about pets. So I have agelesspaws.com, where, you know, we provide CoQ10 supplements and really nice treats, you know, which are endowed with CoQ10, because pets just like humans need CoQ10. For me, CoQ10 and grounding are my two greatest discoveries in 50 years of medicine.
That is so nice to hear that, something good, something positive about life, because right now, as you said, things are not that bright.
Exactly.
Dr. Sinatra, I thank you so much. Please come back when your book comes out. I'd love to introduce that to my audience.
Anytime. It's great to talk to you again.
It's always good to hear you. You always leave us feeling younger when I talk to you.
Thanks so much. God bless.
God bless you.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you for enjoying my interview. The Valder Beebe Show is made possible in part by the Food IQ Girls. Their goal is to elevate your food IQ. Visit facebook.com/the Food IQ Girls for more inspiration.